Very good morning students. Today we are going to study fourth lesson of history, that is Mughal Emperor. In last lesson we studied about Delhi Sultanate. Now we are going to move to the next part, means we studied up to 15th century. Now we are going to study about 16th and 17th century, what happened here in India, that we are going to see. We can see that the people in the subcontinent, different types of people we can see. Muslims are there, Christians are there, different religion, different physical features and height, skin color, like that, everything it is different. So we can see the different people as well as diversity of people as well as diversity of culture we can see here in our India. And we can see the 16th century onwards, the new dynasty came here in India, that is Mughal dynasty or Mughal emperor, and we can see that when they are starting their rule from Agra and Delhi, that is they are starting their kingdom in 16th century and it is ending by end of 17th century, and little bit we can here and there we can see in 18th century also. And they started the structure of administration and idea of governance, and then they started leaving a political legacy that that succeeding rulers of the subcontinent could not ignore. Means the what all things they made in the time of their legacy, means great Mughal king like that Akbar the Great, like their kings, their legacy we can't forget. And the building structure what they made, we can see the Red Fort where the Prime Minister is addressing the people, the nation in the day of independence. That is the Red Fort that is made by the Mughal kings. So that much means their construction, then their administration, all these things still we are continuing in one way or in another way, or we can see many things we are adopted from them. Even 6th standard when we studied about great king Ashoka, that time also we said like the Ashoka Stamba that we using as the symbol of our national unity. Then Ashoka Chakra what we are using in our middle of our national flag. So the heritage what got from our forefathers, we are still continuing that one, we can see like that. And we are going to this is the introduction of the lesson. We are moving to the first point, that is who were the Mughals. Really, who are the Mughals? We can see their father's side and mother's side, both side we can see. And mother's side it is Mongol rulers, and one of the prominent one, that is Genghis Khan, and he died in 1227, means 13th century he died. That was his mother's Mughal king's mother's family. And father's family, that is the Timur kings who was ruling Iran, Iraq, that area, and present days we are calling it Turkey. And Timur he died in 1404, means he died in 15th century. And we can see already in introduction part we have seen that Mughal kings emperor started here in India by 16th century. They started by 16th century. And when we are thinking each and every kingdoms where we are starting normally, we can see they are from the descendants of the means of the next coming generations of the king's family or emperor's family. Very rarely we can see like that they are from the slaves or they are from the governors, like that. Then when we are coming the Mughal kings, we can see like that many people. So mother's side it is from Mongol family, and the famous king was Genghis Khan, and father's side it is Timur family, and that is famous Timur was the famous king on that family, and they was ruling in Iran and Iraq, and present day we are calling it Turkey. And mother's family there was the part of China and Central Asia. So this is about their fathers and mothers side. And the Mughal family, Mughal kings, they want to known by Timur family, but knowingly or unknowingly they started to call by Mughal kings. Why they don't like that name Mughal? Because the killing of their forefather Genghis Khan, he killed many people. Millions of people died because of his invasion and fighting with other people. So they don't want to hear like that. And we can see one painting here, it is given the Timur, how he made his meeting with his coming generation and other things, it is given. And then Tiramid ancestry not last for the least for all, because their great ancestor had captured Delhi in 1398. Means in 14th century itself, the Timur's family, they came to India from Iraq and Turkey. They came here in India and captured Delhi for a time being, and afterwards again it is coming with the Mughal kings. Means they are the forefathers of Mughals forefathers are the Timurid ancestry, and they celebrated their genealogy pictorially, and each ruler getting a picture made of the Timur and himself. Means they are making they was very proud about their father's dynasty and especially about the Timur king. Then we can see the Mughal military campaign. Next topic what we want to study, that is the Mughal military campaign. And we can see the first king of Mughal, that is Babur, and he started his he ruled 1526 to 1534 years he was ruling, and succeeded to the throne of the Fergana in 1494 when he was only 12 years. Means when Babur was 12 years old, that time he became the he got the chance to become the emperor, and he was forced to leave his ancestral throne due to the invasion of other Mongol groups. Other Mongol groups came here, means from China. Again some more other kings came here and attacked attacked Mughal family. So they he went away, and he going, and he is reaching to Kabul. Again he reaching there in Kabul, means present in Afghanistan. And the Mongol groups, and then that group's name it is Uzbeks, who killed many people for many years, because of they are coming from China, Tibet, Nepal, like the different countries are there in between to reach to India. So they killed many people, and he went and started his rule there in Kabul. He was wandering there in Kabul, and slowly there he made small army with him, and again 1526 he came back, and he got rule in 1494, and it went just after that few days, after few months later, he went to Kabul, and in 1504 he's wandering here and there. Slowly he's becoming powerful, means started to keep make his army. Then 1526 he defeated Sultan of Delhi. Again he is coming back and defeating the Sultan of Delhi of that time, that is Ibrahim Lodi, that we already have seen last chapter about Ibrahim Lodi. And that was the fight between Sultan of Delhi, means Ibrahim Lodi, and Babur. It happened in Panipat, and he captured after with this Panipat he defeated Ibrahim Lodi and captured Delhi and Agra, where he was ruling before. Then here in the chapter we can see table 1, it is there in 2 pages. We can see the famous kings of Mughal emperor, and starting it is from 1526 to and ending by, we can see 1704. Not only 1704, afterwards also we can see, but the Mughal kings, they are continuing, but they was not that much powerful like Akbar or Aurangzeb. Okay, let us see table 1. First king it is Babur, second one it is Humayun, third one is Akbar, and fourth one it is Jahangir, next one is Shah Jahan, the next one is Aurangzeb. About 6 kings we want to study the details, when they started their ruling, when it ended and end, what is the reason for that, and what all administrative setup they made, what all the changes they made, everything it is given in the table, and you can take your own time to read it. And this is the all essence about Mughal emperors. And we can see Babur, he defeated Ibrahim Lodi in 1526, and his with the help of Afghanistan supporters at Panipat. The next one 1527 defeated Rana Sanga, that is the Rajput rulers, and his alliance in Kanwa, means that is in Rajasthan and Gujarat area. Then we can see again 1528 he is defeating the Rajput Chandrar and established control over Agra and Delhi before his death. Very many years he is fighting, means 26 he become king second time, and from that all about 3-4 years continuously he was fighting, and just before 1530 he captured Delhi and Agra. That is just before his death. And next one, it is the son of Babur, that is Humayun, and Humayun's time it was 1530 to 1540, again 1555 to 1556, means in between he lost his power and other kings came, again he defeated them. And we can see Humayun divided his inheritance according to the will of his father. His brothers were each brothers given each provinces. They made according to the Babur's wish, they made country into different provinces and given to his brothers also, but the famous one was Humayun. And Sher Khan defeated Humayun at Kaswa in 1539 and Kanauj in 1540, forcing him to be flee. Means his own brother, he is attacking him, and they made him to be go away, exile or go away from the country, and he went to Iran, means his father's land he went back. And the in Iran, Humayun received help from Safraddin Shah. He recaptured Delhi in 1555, means like how Babur went to Afghanistan in Kabul, went to Kabul and setting his army there with the help of that Afghan people, how he captured Delhi, returned, like that here also Humayun take the help of Iran people, especially Safavid Shah, and he capturing Delhi in 1555, and he ruled for 1 more year. And after then just after the next year he died. Then third one, that is the great king, that is Akbar. Okay, we will continue in next video.